Hello there and welcome. It's Bec and Deb here.
Hi.
And welcome to our show. It's great to have you with us. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you today.
As always.
As always, of course.
I know our show's not fantastic.
Well, of course. So we're going to be talking about how can I be of service as our question. And our topic today is more thinking won't help. But before we dive into the show, we always love to let you know what's coming up and what's going on. We would hate for you to miss out.
Oh, we would indeed.
So I wanted to tell you a little bit about something that's coming up very, very soon that we're particularly excited about, I think. So this year, for the first time, we attempted to do this last year and it didn't come together.
Oh, somehow we were just a little bit late, weren't we, I think, and we didn't get ourselves together.
I've found a fantastic way, and we are putting out the Dare to Be You Advent Calendar. So as the name suggests, it's a December thing, and it starts on the 1st of December, as you can probably guess, and counts you down to Christmas Day. And as the season of goodwill, the calendar is all about kindness and goodwill. And as you'll imagine from us, there'll be some videos, some little inspirations, some thoughts, some beautiful pictures, just as something every day to get your day off to the right start. Sadly, no chocolate, as we haven't found a way to do that online yet.
I know. We need to, if anyone knows how to send chocolate through a computer, please do be in touch, and we will add chocolate to the calendar.
But the very next thing is behind each door will be a little snippet of some Dare to Be You, goodwill and kindness. So we would love you to join in and get on board and have an advent calendar for you this year. And you can do that by visiting our website, daretobeyou.co.uk, and the link will be below. But even better, if you're on our mailing list, look out this Friday all the way through November. We are doing Black Friday deals every Friday, because you know us, we don't like to limit ourselves. So we thought we'd do one every Friday. And this coming Friday, which will be, I believe, the 20th, maybe 17th and 19, 20, something around that.
Yeah, it is. It's actually International Children's Day on Friday
the 20th.
Well.
Yeah.
Yes, Friday the 20th.
So on our mailing list, anyone on our mailing list will get an email on Friday the 20th with a special deal for the Advent calendar. So if you're not on our mailing list, make sure you sign up for that. Or if you just know you want it and you don't need any special offers and you're just ready for your Advent calendar, go to the website and grab it now.
Absolutely, don't forget. And another thing that's going to be in the sale, there's going to be a week on Friday, on actual Black Friday, is our Warrior's Journey. We did put that out a couple of weeks ago on our mailing list, and we had quite a few people take us up on that. So we've got a few people on our Warrior's Journey, and they're having a blast. We have some amazing feedback. So if you want to do our Warrior's Journey, it really is. This is the thing that Bec had her first shifts and insights around. It really changed everything for Bec, and we've made some little changes and done a few things, but it's great. We're very, very proud of our Warrior's Journey. And if you want to do that, it's a 90-day program, and every day you get an email every single day for 90 days, but you can do it. It's a self-study program, so you can do it at your own pace, but it does come with a one-to-one with us. So you do get that in the price of it, which is absolutely invaluable. If you look around at the testimonial that Bec's been having about what she's doing at the moment, honestly, it's a steal. So do that. So if you want to get the Warrior's Journey, it's available right now on our website, or you can wait for the Black Friday deals that we've got a week on Friday, and you'll get a really good deal with that. So
yeah, absolutely. So let's get on with the show, shall we?
Yeah, let's dive in. How can I be of service?
That's a great question. So that's our question this week. How can I be of service? Because one of the things that we talk about ever such a lot, and if you haven't heard this before, where have you been? But we talk about the pendulum swing, that kind of, as each of us kind of turn up in life as human beings, generally we fall on one side of the pendulum. We're either a bit of a people pleaser, or we're a bit more of a people squasher. And neither end is healthy. If you've been either end of that, or you've been on the receiving end of a people pleaser or a people squasher, you'll know that it's not healthy, it's not comfortable, and no one really gets much from that. And the being of service is the place in the middle. It's where it kind of brings together that, that desire in us when we go as far as people pleasing comes from a good space in us and then just gets lost You know, it kind of gets lost somewhere in the middle of that, because we all want to feel more love and joy and peace in our lives. And what we do is then get confused about how we can go about that. So for me, being of service is about experiencing more of that love and joy and peace in our lives. And much like I'd already said about the Advent calendar and the kindness and the goodwill, it's beginning to see where that comes from within us. That, you know, being kind to somebody else, or even to ourselves to begin with, starts from a space of understanding that we're already whole and complete. So how can I be of more service? The first part to answer that is to understand that you're already whole and complete.
Yeah. So another way that we have been known to talk about this is to talk about our humanness and our spiritual nature, and that beautiful place of balance in between the two. And what I have really been seeing around this lately is that as human beings, it is perfectly normal for us to have desires, have things we want to create, and things we want to do out in the world. And all of us have those things. And I know I was having a little conversation with Bec the other day, and I can't remember where she said she'd heard this, but someone said, you know, if you're sitting in a certain position for a while, all of a sudden you'll start to, you know, I need to move my leg because it's we have these just little impulses that come through us. We don't create them, they come through us. And part of our human nature is we have things that we want to be in relationships, we want to build things, we want to make things, we want to be creative in some way or another. And it is an absolutely perfectly normal part of being human. And I know my experience has been that for a very long time, and it feels through religion and one way or another, we're told that it's not a good thing to want anything. And I think that's kind of got mixed up in the message, because exactly like Bec said, our spiritual nature, when we connect with that, what we realize is that we are already whole and complete. Peace, love, generosity, all the things that we want are ours already. And so when you come to this place of balance between the two, what you get to see is that as human beings, as having an experience of being an individual, of being separate from everyone else, you have your own little wants. You have these little impulses. You know, you move your leg at a different time to I move mine. You want to be in a different relationship with someone else at a different time, or whatever it is. You want a new car or a new house, or to paint your room, or to create beautiful artwork, or write or play music, or whatever, take photographs, whatever it is that you are called to do. That's your individual beautiful gift of being human. And it's about as far from wrong as it can possibly be. But then what we get is to understand our spiritual nature and begin to see that we don't, if for any reason, you know, if we don't feel very well, or it's not the right day for us, or something gets in the way of us doing that, or whatever, we're perfectly okay. We're whole and complete. That desire that was triggered in us, if it can't come to fruition, it doesn't mean that we're damaged. There's nothing wrong with us. And being in the place of balance between those two things that's a perfect life.
Yeah, I can remember exactly who it was that I was quoting when I said that about the impulse, and maybe we'll grab the link and put it below as a worthwhile video to watch. It was a recording between Del A.D. Jones and Mavis Khan. It was a beautiful conversation.
Amazing lady, yes.
Yeah, it was
and
perfect.
Del too.
So, yes, so I think we'll it's worth
absolutely.
a listen. It's beautiful. But yeah, the kind of what was kind of coming to me as you were saying there is the real kind of crux of this is the understanding, isn't it? Understanding what everything you're saying there is, understanding what being in service really means.
Yes.
And I think, like you were saying, that kind of within religions and philosophies and stuff, we've gotten out of that understanding. We've made it mean something that it doesn't mean.
Yes.
And I know in the last couple of weeks, in a kind of very light-hearted but genuine way, one of the things me, Deb and Lou have been quoting each other a lot in the work that we're doing and sharing with people is, it's a win for me, it's a win for you, and it's a win for the universe. And it's been a really beautiful kind of thing gorgeous. We've been toying around really with lovely. Actually.
Yeah.
And that for me, like seeing that that's being of service. Like if there's something that you can see to do in the world that's a win for you, a win for the other person, and a win for the universe, that's being of service. That's what it comes down to. And for me, seeing what is a win for me and a win for you and a win for the universe comes from a really quiet and still place within me. When I'm not in my head trying to, you know, why should I be of service to you? What have you ever done for me? When I'm not in that space, when I'm in that quiet space of giving from the well that lives within us, from that kind of space of abundance. When I give from there, nobody loses and everybody wins. And just starting to get familiar with what that might mean for you. And then in a given moment, like I can't tell you how many times I see something in front of me that I can do for somebody, an opportunity to give and share and be kind and help and be of service. Those things just present themselves to me when I'm allowing my heart to be overflowing with love and kindness, when I'm allowing myself to live from abundance, when I begin to know that, you know, if I'm winning and you're winning and the universe is winning, what more is there here? What else can there possibly be here? You know, that's what this is about. And there's definitely been some confusion, I think, over kind of the years and through philosophies and religions and ideas of what we should and shouldn't do, that being of service is being a doormat, is being kind of trodden down and being, you know, treated badly, taken advantage of. I see that phrase on Facebook such a lot, that people take advantage of me, or, you know, I won't allow people to take advantage of me. And I think there's a quote, and I'm pretty sure it's Eleanor Roosevelt, that no one can take advantage of you. I think I might be paraphrasing.
Nobody can make you feel a certain way without your permission.
Yeah. So to paraphrase it, no one can take advantage of you without your permission. And it's seeing the truth in that, like the real genuine truth in that, that when we're of service, genuinely of service, no one can actually take advantage of that, because you're giving from a heart full of abundance anyway. What is there to take advantage of? And I think it's really just playing around with what that could mean for you in your life, where that wholeness and completeness resides in you, and being able to give from that space. And just knowing, I notice for me that there's definitely times when I'm not in that, and I'm trying to give or share or say or speak, and it's not coming from that space, and it feels wrong and it feels off within me. We were having a brief conversation with Lou a minute ago, and something that's going on for her at the moment, she's not in a clear mind about it, and she knows that. So the only thing she knows to do right now is nothing, to not act from there. And at some point that space will clear within her, and I know she'll do something beautiful when it does. The situation that's just going on for her for a minute, when that clears and she remembers her abundance and her wholeness and her completeness, she'll be of service in some way in the situation she's in. She'll have something to give that will blow our minds and hers, I'm sure.
And it's absolutely amazing that we have our emotions or our feelings, or whatever it is you want to call them, are the system that we have been born into gives us a clue what we're doing. And the pendulum, if we go back to that we're speaking to at the moment, if we get out of sync with that, if we are not in service, to me being in service is like a beautiful circle. It is that if you are truly in service, you will serve yourself, you will serve others, and you will serve the universe. That is the win-win-win circle, and that flows beautifully. And we get a nice feeling. That's when we know that's where we are. And when we move out of that and we people please, that was my thing. That's what I did. And we're giving then, like you say, from an empty place within us, and it hurts. It doesn't feel nice. And that feeling, that's your guide. That's when you know. But when you give, like you say, we can see people all the time to give to, kind things that we can do, but it comes from a place of service. It comes from a very, very different feeling. And I know sometimes within our work, obviously we charge for some of what we do, and that was something that I struggled with it for quite a while. I felt like in with a spiritual understanding. You can't charge, you shouldn't do this. And we got very, or I certainly got very out of balance with that, and it didn't feel nice. And very much what we have seen now is, to be in service, it needs to be in that win for our client, win for us, and win for the universe. And it's such a beautiful place of service to step into. It works incredibly well for us, and it works incredibly well for the people that we work with, and therefore the universe wins. You can't lose from that place. But I love that we have this system, or part of the system that we have been born into, tells us when we are out of balance. We know because we feel it, and we can feel our way back to peace and happiness and balance. So the system is great. We are so lucky, so blessed.
And I think actually that leads us perfectly in and very smoothly into our topic. So our topic this week is more thinking won't help. And what was coming to me as you were talking just then, Deb, was you don't know this, but just earlier today she was writing some daily inspirations, I think, and I glanced over her shoulder and saw I think it said something like, follow the feeling. Sid Banks said this and he was right. And I just glanced at it and it kind of gave me a moment of, yeah, that's so. And that's, you know, more thinking won't help is the essence of that is follow the feeling.
Yeah, get out of your thinking and into the feeling.
Yeah, exactly that. And it's very much like Deb's saying about how blessed we are to be a part of a system that works like every single time. It never fails. And when we're in that kind of thinking that doesn't come with a great feeling, that feeling is a really good indicator of where we're at and what we're up to. And then what we're very good at doing is just adding more thinking to the pile. And it's like, that's not going to help. And something in us knows that. Like throughout history, there are so many examples of little things that we say, you know, I'll sleep on it, I'll come back to that later, I'll worry about that tomorrow, or, you know, all of those kinds of things. I remember my dad saying when I was a kid, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah.
And it's that, isn't it? It's like we are very good at trying to cross bridges we haven't even got to yet. And more thinking, more kind of adding to that doesn't help us. It just makes our mind foggier. And thankfully, the system we're a part of has a really clever inbuilt kind of alarm system that tells us where we are. And I know one of the things we've talked about a little bit recently is that game that we used to play when we were kids, the Hotter Colder game.
Yeah, it's a game, and if somebody would hide something and then you would go and look for it, and if you got close to where it was, they would say, well, you're getting warmer, you're getting more, or you're getting hot, oh, you're getting boiling as you got near. And if you got further away, you would get colder, oh, you're ice, oh, you've got icicles on your toes. You know, and those would be the clues to where you know what we were finding. And the system that we are a part of is very, very similar to that. It gives us feelings, and when we are closer to our true nature, when we're closer to that place of balance, when we're in a good place, it feels good. And when we move away from it, whatever the kinds of feelings on both sides of the pendulum that we can get, they're not so great. And one of the things when Bec was saying about, you know, Sid Banks said, follow the feeling. What I have really been seeing lately is that our thoughts and the thinking that we have, there's nothing wrong with it. Thought isn't the bad guy here. We have some amazing thoughts. We have some brilliant ideas. Thought is brilliant. But something that my granddad used to say was, everything in moderation. And I think this is true of thought too. You know, if we overthink things, thought is amazing, it's brilliant, it's a gift, but when we overdo it, it doesn't do us any favors. And our feelings tell us when we are overthinking something. So, and if we move from that thinking into the feeling, if you know you're in a bad feeling, what I've started to see is when we're in that bad feeling, we're never stuck there, because there is always a chink in that. There's always a way out. There is always something. We can move from the feeling that we're in, even if it's just like little steps, but we can move up that ladder. So if we're stuck in a horrible place, well, we're not. We just, if we allow our mind, if we go there and just look at it and just, what's the next? What's a slightly better feeling than the one that I'm in? And it's amazing how quickly we can come out of whatever it is we are in when we recognise, follow the feeling. Sid Banks was absolutely right, and we can follow that feeling all the way to the penthouse when we understand what's going on.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when you were just saying it, the beautiful metaphor of kind of being in a lift or an elevator, if you're posh, and how, you know, with the way a lift works is that you can literally get to the next level, like the next kind of floor, or you can go all the way to the top or anywhere in between. And, you know, one of those options is always available. And even if it is just the next floor up, and that's enough to feel a bit better. That's enough to be moving in the right direction and following those feelings. And sometimes we're lucky enough that, you know, nobody stops the lift and we get all the way to the top without kind of an interruption. But just moving one step up on that kind of ladder is enough to give us a new perspective, a new experience. And that's always available to us. And there's definitely moments when it doesn't feel true. I know that. I've had that experience myself.
Me too.
I know Deb has. But it doesn't feel available. And it is never about that becoming a way of beating yourself up, but just being curious and open to what else could be available here. What, you know, if I knew that I was abundant in love and goodness and peace and joy, what could be available here? What else might be around that I could experience? What other feelings can I follow? And definitely, like Deb said, I love that kind of everything in moderation, because it does feel like, you know, when we look out into the world that we're out of balance with our moderation. There's a lot that we do in the world. And it's even become almost a semi-joke, hasn't it? That, oh, I'm an overthinker, I'm a worrier, I never stop, my brain's always going.
We almost wear it as a badge.
And it's almost become a badge of honour, hasn't it? Like
it has almost,
I'm an overthinker. And it's like seeing that serves no purpose. To kind of almost go back to the question at the beginning, that's of service to nobody, you or anybody around you. I really notice when I'm in conversation with, you know, friends, family, clients, the times when they're kind of going, well, I see what you're saying, but I'm going to spend some time really thinking about this so I get my answer. And it's like, who are you serving? Who gets anything from that? You end up with a headache or a sleepless night, or, you know, bags under your eyes or something.
All of the above.
Any of the above. The person that you're, you know, if it's someone particularly you're having a problem with or a situation with, or you're trying to help, they get nothing from you because you're now tired and headachy and snappy, if you're like me, you know, and those kinds of things that we do. And the world benefits in no way at all. When I realise that I'm in that overthinking mode and I'm trying desperately to find an answer, I really see the benefit of stepping back from that. I've really watched that become something that happens kind of through me as I've explored this. So something that got put out on social media over in the last couple of days, I think Lucy put it out, was a kind of God email. It was an email from the universe that essentially said, trust me, I've got this. When you think there's a problem you can't solve, leave it with me. I've got this.
I'll put that.
I'll
make sure that it's around somewhere on this. Yeah, it was lovely, really nice.
Yeah, and that's what, you know, I'm saying here is that we are very good at going, there's this problem, and rather than allowing it to resolve through me over time, I'm going to get in on it, I'm going to overthink it, I'm going to worry about it, I'm going to bring everyone else in to help me worry about it. And what we know in this conversation is that that's the least helpful thing that we can do. And trusting the universe, allowing an answer to come through us, is that place of service we've been talking about.
Absolutely.
And is the place that is going to be of most help. And just trusting in that is really the place to look to.
And what I've really seen is the sooner that we move out of, when we begin to know ourselves, which is something we talk about a lot as well, and recognize our feelings, the sooner we kind of get off that thought train, if you like. If we're going down a bad, if our feelings are really going off, the sooner that we catch that off feeling and don't add more and more thought to that, as we said, more thinking won't help. The sooner that we begin to recognize that and put our attention somewhere else, just do something else, it feels to me that we get more, it's easier to do it quicker. That it feels like the more we get into it, the more we get into it, the more we get into it, the harder it can be to dig ourselves out.
Yeah, it's like revving your wheels, isn't it, when they're stuck in mud. Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully that's kind of answered the question and given you something to go with on the topic. As always, of course, if anything from what we've shared has brought something up for you and you want to be in touch, we have a Facebook group, Dare to Be You, with a purple heart. You can comment below this video, wherever it is, wherever you're watching it, and reach out to us. We're very, very visible and easy to get hold of.
Oh, we are.
And if you've got questions or topics you want us to talk about,
please
let us know. We always love to kind of help and answer your questions.
So what we're doing next week, Bec?
Yeah, so next week we're going to do a whole show on the topic clarity and confidence.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, it should be a good show. It's something that's coming, a lot of that kind of coming for us at the moment. So it'd be nice to share some of that. So thank you very much once again for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed the show.
And we will see you soon. Take care. Bye.